ONA, the beginning. Overseas National Airways began service in 1950 as a charter airline under a supplemental airline certificate, flying military charters using DC-4 aircraft. The following decade, in the new jet era, they began doing inclusive tour charters for travel agents that packaged all-included vacation pricing that included airfare, hotels, and destination tour expenses. The scheme caught on with large travel clubs and groups of world travelers. The four-engine stretch DC-8 was the ideal aircraft, and ONA had a fleet of them. They carry as many as 255 passengers. In the late 1960s, ONA bid on military freight contracts and won, so added a fleet of cargo aircraft that included the Lockheed L-188 Electra and the DC-932 series, converted for carrying freight. The DC-9 aircraft, a twin-engine jet, was fitted with JATO bottles, that's jet-assisted takeoffs, to the fuselage behind the aft wing spar to provide added power in case of an engine failure during heavyweight, high-altitude airport takeoffs. The running joke among crew members was it was just enough additional power to clear the aircraft wreckage off the end of the runway. In the early 1970s, ONA added 3 DC-10 wide-body aircraft to accommodate the growing popularity of its charter business. In 1976, to help celebrate the coming 200-year anniversary of the country, a call went out to all employees to submit a paint scheme design to be implemented on one of our DC-8 aircraft. An ONA flight attendant named Sharon Duker won the contest handily with her creative design. The aircraft pictured here is the result. Congratulations, Sharon. I had the pleasure of flying this aircraft on one of my last flights at ONA in 1976 before being furloughed. The Civil Aeronautics Board, the regulator of airline routes, was about to lose its authority, and ONA would suffer greatly, along with other charter airlines. The Airline Deregulation Act of 1978 changed everything. The ITCs were no longer protected by the CAB, which was being totally dismantled. The handwriting was on the wall, and ONA shut down sadly in 1978. If you were lucky enough to be a crew member at ONA during this era, you saw the world, and I was lucky enough to have been there. Former flight attendants, reflecting on how much fun it was to fly for Overseas National Airways, after they had worked for other major carriers, both before and after ONA, how exotic it was to travel all over the world, to the extent that they would have paid to work for the airline, and I agreed. With fond memories of my life with ONA in the early days of my airline career, I felt an obligation to share a remembrance of the many all-nighters and early morning arrivals. I recall my love of flying the DC-9 freighter as it was my introduction to the life of an airline pilot. This painting is my contribution to those nostalgic memories, an attempt to portray an aircraft landing in the early morning when it is darkest just before dawn. My painting, Quick Trans Arrival, shows an ONA DC-9 crossing the threshold of runway 18 during a night landing at Navy's North Island Airport near San Diego, a scheduled stop on what might be called, in modern-day parlance, a freight dog operation for the U.S. Navy, formerly known as Navy Quick Trans, a military freight supply contract. One of history's most famous aviation feats originated from North Island in 1927. Charles Lindbergh's flight from New York to Paris in May 1927 departed from what was then Rockwell Field, North Island, on May 10th in 1927. It was the first leg of his long journey to Paris. Rockwell Field later became part of the Naval Air Station at North Island. That's the conclusion of this episode of Art on the Fly. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back soon. And please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.